welcome back to my channel. This video is gonna be I guess skin focused. What I'm gonna be showing you is how I do my foundation and my powders and all that, and have my makeup last for a really long time, over 12 hours. I usually put on my makeup at 5 in the morning. I don't take it off till about 8:30 at night. This is the one way that I actually can make sure that my makeup stays on all day. Very little touch-ups. Maybe I would need to blot once during the day, like at 4 or 5 in the afternoon. But other than that, I really don't have to do anything. Like I said, this is going to be skin focused, so I'm going to go ahead and do my eyes off camera. But the rest of my face, I'll be showing you how I do it. At some points during the video, it's gonna look a little crazy, but I promise you at the end it will look like this. The face is gonna look super glowy. It's not gonna be very heavy coverage or anything like that. I am using a lot of products, but I don't find that it looks cakey at the end of the day. It doesn't look cakey when I'm done with my makeup. I absolutely love how it wears throughout the day. So if you're curious, please keep on watching. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Rania. I hope you subscribe and join the YouTube family, friends that I do have over here. So if you really want to know how I got this face, then please keep on watching. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get started. So since this video is gonna be more focused on the complexion, I went ahead and got started with my eyes. I didn't want the video to be too long. I just wanted to show you how I do my complexion and have it last for so long. So like I said, I went ahead and got started with my eyes, and just for reference, if you're curious, for my eyes I went in with the McGrath Labs, the Mothership Sublime Bronze Ambition palette. I used the shade, let's see, for the crease I used the shade, I guess called Throw-In Shade, which is this this one right here. In my outer V, and again all over the crease, I use this shade right here, which is called Illicit. And then all over the lid, I went in with this shade right here, which is Bronze Struck. So that's what I have on my eyes, and I'm going to do the same thing for my lower lash line. But let's go ahead and move on to the face. I moisturize. I do have my sunscreen on. I'm going to go in with my primer, and for that I'm going to use the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. I'm just going to use my finger. I'm not going to use the scooper that came with it. I'm going to just swipe a little bit of that on my finger, and I'm going to press it, or drag it, I guess, into like my my pore areas. So like my cheeks. Actually, this guy is pretty nice all over the face, so I'm just gonna be generous and I'm gonna use it all over the face. I do find that doing this instead of the scooper, I use just the right amount, so I don't end up getting too much product. And I had it sometimes where I use the scooper and I get way too much product, and it just does not want to sit very nicely on the face. I feel like it ends up kind of balling up a little. So this way I get just the right amount. I'm not wasting any product, and it just sits on the skin so much nicer. I guess you could use the scooper and just go in, don't pull too much product out. You could do that, but I find it that with my finger, it looks, I get the better results. Okay, I'm just gonna get a little tiny bit more to put in these areas over here. So my primer's on. I don't find that I have to let this primer sit for too long, so I can go in straight with foundation. And for foundation, I'm gonna be using 2 foundations. Again, the point is to have my makeup last a really long time. I typically put on my makeup at 5 in the morning. And then I go to work, and I don't take my makeup off till about 8 at night. So a lot of makeup usually just slides right off, or by the end of the day breaks down really badly, and it can't have that happen. So I'm using this combo. It's the Too Faced Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation and L'Oreal Infallible Foundation. I'm in the shade Light Beige in the Too Faced, and shade 445, which is Vanilla, in the L'Oreal one. So I'm gonna use 1 pump of each. 1 pump. I am, like, the Too Faced one is a little bit darker on me, so I am gonna put it on the outside perimeter of my face, kinda. we will blend it all together anyways, but I'm gonna start with it on the outside perimeter, and then I'm gonna use 1 pump of the L'Oreal Infallible foundation. Is it Infallible? Infallible up to 24-hour wear foundation. So you can tell like they are a little bit different shades, but when we blend them all together, they will look really, really nicely. So I have so much products right in front of me, I have to like find room. I'm taking my beauty blender and I'm just gonna start blending with the L'Oreal because it's lighter. So I'm gonna do the inner part of my face, and then I'm gonna move out to the outside part of my face. And now they'll be all blended together. I'm not looking for very full coverage. I just need a coverage, and I need my foundation to last a really long time. I think for both of these foundations, the claim is that they are, I think, medium to full. I don't find them full coverage. Honestly, I find them that they are medium coverage, but I'm completely fine with that. I do have some breakouts, some hormonal breakouts currently, so it is what it is. I'm not looking to like completely cover it up or anything like that. I just want a flawless base. My nose is usually my problem area. I find that my foundation just always wants to just rub off of my nose. It's so frustrating. Like, I feel like there's nothing left on my nose now. I don't know why that is. I try not to put too much primer on there so I can let like the foundation sit on it, but it is what it is. So foundation is on. I'm gonna go ahead and move into concealer. For concealer, I'm gonna be using the Tarte Shape Tape. I have the shade Light Medium Honey. I'm gonna do one eye at a time. I'm gonna put it on one side, and then I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the other side. No, quite a bit of product, but I've been having really bad dark circles, or I feel like I have really bad dark circles, so we're just gonna try and cover all that up. Okay, I'm gonna do the other eye. Same thing. It was a really beautiful morning today. It was so bright and sunny, and now it looks all gloomy. I am gonna go ahead and highlight the center of my face. I'm gonna put some concealer in the center of my forehead, down my nose. That hopefully will, you know, get some coverage on my nose, a little bit on my chin, and then we're gonna blend it all out. This way I'll let the concealer under my eye to sit a little bit, so if there's any creasing I can go in and correct them before I set that with powder. Okay, I'm gonna take the other side of the sponge, which I used for blending my foundation, and then try to go over the spots where the concealer would have met the foundation. I wanna blend it all together. I don't wanna see like any kind of difference in color or anything like that. So I'm doing that. It's not gonna take away from the coverage of the concealer. It's just gonna blend everything together a little bit better. So now the concealer under my eye has set for a little bit. I'm gonna try and look up, and then if there's any sort of creasing, I do wanna tap that out either with my finger or with the sponge, and then I'm gonna go ahead and set it. So definitely can see some creasing. I'm gonna look up and I'm gonna push that in. I think if you have under eye circles, it's completely normal to have creasing. So what you can do is just let it sit a little bit, let the concealer actually get into the creases, and then you can go in either like tap it with your finger, blend it in, or like I said, with a sponge. And then we can set it. You don't want to set it too soon where it hasn't already went into the crease. I hope that makes any sense. So I'm gonna do that. And for setting under my eye, I am gonna go ahead and use the Joah Selfie Ready Setting Powder, and I have the shade Banana. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this for under my eye. Just gonna dump a little bit in the cap, a little bit of product in the cap. And I am gonna use my sponge Ooh, got powder everywhere. Yellow powder everywhere. It's not super yellow that kind of like looks sickly or anything like that. Actually looks really nice. I find like, again, when I let my foundation sit on my forehead and I do this, it creases in my forehead. So before I set my face, I gotta fix that as well. So I'm gonna look up, fix the creases under my eye one last time, and then with the sponge, I'm gonna dip in really heavily into that powder, and then I'm gonna set one eye at a time. Okay, let's do the other eye. I guess it's baking under the eye, but with this concealer and then this powder, I don't find that, like, it doesn't dry my under eye area. Some other powders do that, but with this one, I've been actually really happy and surprised with it. So, okay, I set under my eye, and whatever's left on the sponge, I am gonna push it in the spots that I used concealer. I'm not gonna go too high up on my forehead because I do see a crease up there that I really would like to blend out before I set it, but I am just gonna press the sponge in the spots where I applied the concealer. The sides of my nose, because that's usually where I have a problem. I picked up some more powder. I need that to just sit. Like I said, I do have a big crease in the center of my forehead. I don't know if you can see it, but I have a really bad crease in the center of my forehead. I am gonna push it in to kinda, same thing kinda that I did for under my eye. I don't wanna set that crease. I want it smooth, and then I'm gonna set. So I think I smoothed it out. So now I'm gonna go in with my first setting powder for my face. I am gonna use the Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder. You really do not need a lot of this product. When you actually like open it, they say like flip it over and then flip it back, and then whatever product you get on there that's how much you're supposed to use for your entire face. And I agree. There's a little bit of powder on the cap, so I don't want that to go to waste. I'm gonna go ahead and put my sponge into it, swirl it, and I'm using, not sponge, sorry, my brush, and then I'm using the Real Techniques powder brush. So I picked up all of that product. I'm gonna tap it, and then I'm gonna start pushing the powder into my face. I am gonna go over the spots where I set with the Joah powder, and that's okay. Okay, I'm gonna do the other side of my face. Again, I'm gonna just push my brush into the product, swirl it, and then tap off all the excess product. And a lot of excess product actually comes out of the brush, and you don't need all of that. And then I'm just gonna push it into my face. I'm not buffing, I'm not swirling. At this point, I'm just pushing. I do not want to take off the coverage that was there from the foundation. I just want to push the product into my skin. I'm gonna do the same for my forehead. I'm gonna just push the product into my skin. And I look like a ghost, but that's okay. Okay, I'm gonna take my small, what is it called? Small tapered brush, and I'm gonna just sweep away all that powder from under my eye. It's time to go in with my second powder, and for that I am gonna use the Laura Mercier Candle Glow Sheer Perfecting Powder. This guy is so beautiful. It has a very nice like glow to it. It's absolutely beautiful. It's not, I mean, you get a little tiny bit of color, but it's not like, it's not adding coverage or anything like that. It's just gonna add a little bit of glow to the face. But I do find that the Hourglass Veil powder, the loose setting powder, it does have a little bit glow, but I really like the glow that this adds. I'm gonna take another powder brush, and this is by BH Cosmetics. I It's the V11 brush. This is what it looks like. I'm just gonna swirl it into the powder, get a little bit on my brush, and again, I am gonna push the product into my skin. I'm not gonna swirl, I'm not gonna buff, I'm only pushing product in. I'm gonna do that for all of my face. I guess if you're, for me, I've been getting really oily. Like by the end of the day, my face would be oily. I would need to blot, or for some foundations, it just does not look good towards the end of the day. So if you are oily, or if you are combo like I am, you probably would want to set like this. But if you're not, if you're dry, maybe you don't want to do that. But honestly, you're not gonna feel cakey. I'll show you when we do the setting spray. You're not gonna feel cakey. Everything is just gonna blend in together. It's gonna melt in together. You're not gonna look powdery or anything like that. Maybe if you use different powders, you could. I know it's excessive and these powders are not cheap, but if you need that flawless look, sometimes, I don't know, you need it. You just need it. So there you have it. Those are my powders now. See, I don't know if you can tell, but that Laura Mercier powder added a little bit of color. I'm not as ghostly looking. It did add a little bit of glow. Okay, so let's go ahead and do bronzer now. I know the bronzer combo that I'm using is not very typical, but I've been finding it to look absolutely stunning on the skin. I have this Covergirl Vitalist Healthy Powder, and I have the shade 725 Buff Beige. This is what it looks like. This guy is a little, just a little tiny bit too dark for me to be as a setting powder. So what I've been using it as a first bronzer. So I'm gonna go in with this brush. This is Aesthetica P12. I'm gonna get a nice healthy dose of that powder on my brush, and I'm gonna go in the spots where I normally would bronze or contour or anything like that. I'm gonna buff it in. I am gonna follow it with a different bronzer, but see, it kind of gave my skin a little bit color already. I'm gonna do the other side, and I'm gonna do my forehead. Give it a little bit. I mean, it looks so absolutely natural. Not that we're going for natural today, but for a first step to bronze up, bring some life back to the face, I have been really enjoying this guy. And then topping it with another bronzer in like more targeted area. Well, I guess the same areas. So I'm buffing that guy in all over my face. I'm gonna buff it in my jawline. Next up, I'm gonna go in with the butter bronzer, and this is the shade Sunkissed Bronze. This guy looks absolutely beautiful and very natural again. With the same brush, I'm not gonna switch brushes or anything like that. Again, I'm gonna go in a little bit heavy-handed, and then I'm gonna go the same spots where I just applied that Vitalist Healthy Elixir, whatever it's called, powder. I'm gonna start buffing that in. Might have dragged it a little bit too much down, but we'll go ahead and clean that in a little bit. Then I'm gonna do the other side. Okay, so I felt like maybe I put in a little bit too much bronzer. Maybe like on this side of my face, and then I dragged it a little bit too much down here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use the same sponge that I use for blending my foundation. And I'm just gonna go ahead and press into those spots. Kinda will take away a little bit of that bronziness. And then I'm gonna do the same thing down here. You could go in with powder to like have a clean line, but I'm not trying to have like a very contoured face. I just want it to look very well blended. I'm gonna do the same for the other side. Okay, now that my bronzer is on, I'm gonna go ahead and go in with blush. And for blush, I'm gonna use the blush that's in this palette, the Benefit Chic Leaders Mini Bronze Squad. The blush in here is called Gold Rush. This guy is so beautiful. I know it had like an overspray, but now the overspray is gone. So just on a blush brush, and I'm gonna I don't know if, ooh, I put my nose in there. It smells so like, I don't know, it smells really nice. Do you like how that looks? I'm gonna put just a little tiny bit on my nose Bring some life back to my nose. Now I'm gonna go in with the highlight. Again, I'm gonna use the same highlight that's in this palette, and it's called Cookie. I'm using a Real Techniques setting brush. Just gonna pick up some of that highlight. And I put it on the high points of my cheeks. And then on the other side, it's so beautiful. Its highlight is stunning. And then I'm gonna put some on my forehead, above my brow. Looks a little crazy now, right? I'm not gonna worry about that. And I'm gonna do it on the other side. It's bam in your face highlight. I'm not gonna leave it like this, so you'll see what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put it down my nose, on my Cupid's bow. Okay, now that I look crazy with a bunch of stripes all over my face, this is my favorite part. I am gonna go in with this is a Bare Minerals, the Flawless Face Brush. I think this is the mini. This is the small one, not the full size one. And I'm gonna go in with my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder. This is Luminous Light. I'm just gonna take my brush, gonna swirl it into that powder, tap off the excess, and start buffing into my face. This is when I buff, actually. Okay, now that I have all of my face products buffed in together, I do look a little, what's the word? Very glowy, but it's not gonna be like that when we use setting powders and all that stuff. I'm gonna go off camera, I'm gonna finish my eyes, and then we'll come back and we do setting sprays. Did I say setting powders? I meant setting sprays. Okay, you guys, I went ahead and put on my, I finished my eyeshadow, the bottom on my lower lash line. I didn't put any mascara on yet because I do want to set my face first. I find it that if I put on mascara and then I go in heavily with a setting spray, my mascara smudges all over the place. I'm going to be using 2 setting sprays, and this is something I learned from Ali Line. She uses 2 setting sprays. She calls it her 3-step setting routine for a flawless look. So I learned that from her, but I do use the products that I do like to use. I do want to give her her own shout out because I actually learned it from her. So I am going to go in with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water. I'm going to go in very heavily. Like, I'm not going to be shy about it. I do want to cover, because I already have flyaways here, so I do want to cover my forehead. Yes, that's a lot of product, and that's okay. Okay, now that most of that setting spray had dried out, I'm gonna go in with my sponge, no product on it. So one side of it is clean, and I'm just gonna press into my skin. Because I do have some like peach fuzz and all that, and I do want that stuff to lay down. I don't find that I look as crazy anymore, so that's always good. I'm gonna fan the rest of that setting spray, let it dry all the way. Looks so beautiful, looks so glowy, but it all kind of looks blended together. It looks like, it doesn't look like a stripe of bronzer or a stripe of blush or a stripe of highlight. It all looks so blended together. Somewhat natural, if you want to say. The second setting spray that I'm going to go in with is the Milani Make It Last setting spray. And again, I am going to go very heavy-handed with this guy because I do want my makeup to last, well, more than 12 hours. Same thing I did earlier with the beauty sponge. I am going to go ahead and press the product into my skin. I'm using the clean side again. I didn't put any type of product on it. I'm just gonna press into my skin. What do you think? I mean, at some point during this video, I was like, oh my god, this is not looking Very good, especially with the lights and everything. Normally when I do this, I don't have my bright light on. I just do it real quick. I'm not thinking about it, but now I gotta keep looking to make sure that I'm still like in focus and actually filming and all that. I was like, this is not turning out like it usually does. But the finished product, I think it looks absolutely beautiful. Looks very nice, very glowy, and again, everything, I love how everything just looks so melted together. I'm gonna go ahead and put some mascara on and some lip product, and then I'll be back. Alright you guys, I'm back. I did put on my mascara and I put a lip product. For mascara, I put 2 coats of the Pat McGrath Labs Fetish Eyes mascara, and then I topped it with 1 coat of the Pretty Vulgar For Real mascara. I absolutely love spidery thick lashes, and combo is perfect. For lips, I use the L'Oreal Infallible paints, shade 312 Nude Star. So this is what the final look came out to be. I know if you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this way of me doing my face and have it last all day long. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.